like if a beginner comes in, I can set the level to 1, which is like a minimal amount of resistance. And then, you know, if you want a more realistic, you can set it to like 8 or 9. That's what I usually do it on level 9. And then if you want to make it really hard, you can go up to a higher level where it gives you more resistance. That's cool that you can just adjust it.
You want to try it on him?
Did you want to try it?
It's a great idea. I have a ergometer rowing machine, and that's how I do my training.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking the same thing. I was sitting on it the other day. How can I rig the erg to work?
You know, we sell the paddle trainer, just the paddle itself, for $99, and really you can use these. And if you have a gym membership, you can just take this to a gym and hook it up to a cable weight machine and use it in any gym really. Or if you have a home gym, you know, you don't necessarily have to have a rowing machine to use it. And it's good strength training, but I think this is definitely the most realistic simulation.
So try and help him on his stroke.
Critique my
Try
stroke
and
here.
critique the stroke.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one thing I noticed, try to get the paddle straight up and down. So
Straight up and down here?
Yeah, like, because you know, the more you have your paddle at an angle, the more of a steering stroke it is. You know.
Yeah.
In the water, I mean, on the machine it doesn't matter, but
Right.
in the water you really want to get stack your shoulders, get the paddle as straight in the water as possible, and then straight line down the side of the rail.
He has like no twist, yeah?
You know what?
Twist. There's no twist of his shoulders.
He has pretty good twist. I've noticed a lot of the good strong paddlers use their waist a lot too. It's like they twist out of the waist first, and then the shoulder kind of follows. And then really, in the catching, try to catch, twist forward a lot, and you know, try to get as far forward as you can with the reach. Yeah. And then release your stroke. Like once you get past your heels, you want to
Release at the heel?
Release at the heel.
You know what you should do on that thing is you should put a ruler on the ground so you can see where your catch is.
Yeah, yeah.
And even you know, when you say release at the heel,
Yeah.
if you had a stop, I mean, you know, for a beginner,
Oh.
that they would
Yeah.
feel that right here,
Huh.
Yeah.
and then you could, and once you got more comfortable with
Yeah,
that,
and then another way I've been
pull that out.
like another technique thing that I've been showing people. Let me just show you. Is like it's actually it isolate three different parts of the stroke that basically that I think you get the most power out of. Well, one thing is just pushing forward with your top arm, right? So that's like one motion, and just isolating that, just using only your top arm. And then the other thing is, the next one is just to keep both arms straight, locked, and then just using the twisting motion out of your shoulders. So that's kind of the second ingredient. And then the third one is keeping your arms straight and then just using bending from your waist like this, you know. So it's just like that. So and then if you combine all three together, you got the arm, the twisting, and that. And then that's really the most power. It comes from your core, you know. So if you use the core, the twisting, and this, that's where you have the most power. The top arm, you kind of you bend the top arm to get more reach.
right.
But then, like what I usually do is I try to reach as far forward with my top arm. I straighten the top arm, and then the power phase is really both arms are straight. It's just like the power triangle, and it's just like the twisting of the shoulders and the torso is where the power comes from. So it's like catch, actually a little bit too far forward. I like to move it back. I get the catch, straighten the arms, and then power phase. Yeah, and then like when I'm paddling, it's like I'm kind of falling into the paddle too, getting the paddle deeper into the water, and that way you know, once you move the paddle backwards, the water starts moving. If you push the paddle down deeper, you get more undisturbed water, you know, so you get more catch. It's kind of like when you're swimming, you don't move your hand in a straight line because the water starts moving, so you kind of go in the curve, you know. And then with the paddle, because you kind of go in a straight line, but you can go deeper and get some more new fresh water. And you know what I see a lot of guys doing in the surf and stuff is actually pulling too hard, especially like when you're accelerating.
Yeah, you tend to want to.
Yeah, if you do a really hard stroke on your first stroke, the thing like your blade just starts cavitating. The water just goes around it, and it's kind of like when you're driving a car and you accelerate. If you pop the clutch too fast in a race car, the wheels will just spin, and you don't get good traction. So the best traction is right before the wheels start spinning. And it's kind of the same way with the paddling. You want to put just enough pressure on the paddle where you get the maximum grip without cavitating the paddle. Because once it starts cavitating, then you're just like throwing water around and creating air bubbles.
And that's the key with rowing also when you start. You want to take
So a couple quick
your third stroke should be your first full stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
The first two should be like a half, and then a 3/4, and then a full.
Yeah.
And that third stroke is when you should be.
Exactly.
Up to
So
speed.
yeah, when you're accelerating or you're paddling from a complete stop, you take some quick strokes, and then you take longer and longer strokes as you're getting up to speed. Same thing when you're catching a bump. You don't want to take a really hard stroke right away. It's more like taking short, fast strokes. And then also the power phase of the stroke is a very short burst of power. Really, I mean, like a lot of people try to do like a really long stroke and they go way back behind them, but anything going past your heels is kind of not very effective, you know. So you're better off taking like a really powerful stroke right in front and then releasing it. It's just like a burst of power and then release and recover. So.
All right, my question is,
Yeah.
can I buy one?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I have to order them, but the machine, you know, basically I can do the rowing machine and the complete setup like that would be about $1,600.
Okay, sign me up.
Yeah. Ready for one? I mean, it's really a cool thing. You can do it, set it up in your living room and watch TV or watch a paddling race while you're doing it. I mean, that's another thing. I wanted to try to film a paddling race, maybe with a GoPro camera, and then be able to watch it on the screen while I'm training. So it's kind of like it's almost like being in the water. It's something you can do anytime. If you can get up early in the morning, do a quick session, or do it at night. You don't have to like load everything up on your car and drive all over the place or wait for the right conditions. And, you know, for someone on the mainland in the winter time, you know, instead of like sitting around all winter waiting for the weather to warm up, they can actually train in the winter too.
So if the people in the mainland want to order when they call you up, or?
Yeah, we can. What I can do is
I'm going to be his first mainland order.
We can drop ship the machine, and then I can send the paddle trainer and a balance board separately. Still kind of working out the kinks on that, trying to perfect the balance so it has the right amount of resistance. I'm trying to make it adjustable so you can use like different kinds of springs. Right now I'm using 2 windsurfing power joints and an inflatable like a balance ball kind of thing, and then pieces of foam to adjust the amount of tippiness, you know. So I want to make it so you can adjust it so like a beginner could make it more stable, and then if you want it more advanced kind of exercise, you can make it really tippy. Yeah, like a narrow racing board. Yeah.
Indo board,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've actually tried. Indo board doesn't really work because it tends to want to twist. Yeah, it's not. So it's important to have something that won't twist, because when you're pulling, it wants to twist sideways. So this one is, you know, that's why I have the 2 universals, and it really only allows side-to-side motion. It doesn't allow twisting motion.
Do you want a little bit of a twist into it at all?
Well, I mean, when you're paddling, your board's pretty much going straight, you know, so You know, this one twists a little bit, but I mean, I don't want it to be twisting too much because then that's not really a realistic kind of motion, you know.